conferences just like yours, trade shows, and I talked about the 5 P's of marketing. And that was interesting about position and pricing and so on and so forth. But about 15 years ago, it occurred to me that there's not as much relevance with the 5 P's of marketing. And I said to myself, it's the experience, stupid. That's what it's all about. It's how we treat people. How we treat people. That's what makes them come back and spend money with us. That's what makes them go and tell their friends, their family, their colleagues, their co-workers about us. They become brand evangelists on our behalf. So, this morning, I want to talk to you about 3 things. Kind of quickly, but it's okay. What is customer experience? And I like to think about it as what is human experience? Because we're dealing with customers. They're people, right? They're people. Why is it so important for you to think about customer experience? And then how does that translate into customer loyalty? So, what is a remarkable experience? Well, it's kind of like a surprise birthday party. Stop to think about it. You know how it feels when they surprise you and everybody's there on your behalf? They've got things for you, they're celebrating your life and so on and so forth. It's that kind of feeling. That good feeling. Now, I have a favorite Chinese restaurant that I frequent back where I live, which is down close to Niagara Falls here in Niagara Lake. And I go there all the time, but mostly takeout, but they have the best Szechuan you can imagine. And more than one occasion I've gone in, and Wendy, who runs the restaurant, she and her husband, she would say, tonight it's on us. I said, well, you don't have to do that. I didn't explain. No. It's on us tonight. You're a good customer, Mr. Young. It's on us. That's a remarkable experience. That's a retailer or a restaurant or a business owner that recognizes someone who is a long-term customer, knows what they like, and is willing to say, you know what, tonight it's on me. That's what it feels like. It's happy, happy, happy. How do we make customers happy, happy, happy? Now, this is Tony Hsieh. Tony Hsieh started a little company called Zappos, and Zappos, about 10 years in, was doing somewhere in the neighborhood of $1 billion a year in online shoe sales. Anybody heard of Zappos? Anybody buy Zappos shoes? Yeah, great, huh? Zappos. You order the shoes today, they're at your door tomorrow. Am I right? Pretty close, huh? They're at your door tomorrow. UPS overnight to your door. So Tony decided, I can sell shoes online, and I thought at first, well, how do you do that? I can't try them on. I don't know whether the color's real on the computer screen or not. He figured out a way. He happens to also be on Fortune's list of the 100 best places to work. Right? And here's what Tony's secret is to success, to $1 billion a year in revenue. He says, we're a service company. We just happen to sell shoes. Amazon just paid $920 million for his company. Okay, so the next question is, well, why? Why is this so important? Well, because the competition is tougher than ever out there. It's tougher than ever. You've got 24/7 stores that are open all the time. You've got drugstores that are selling food and food items and all those sort of things. Although, and then Costco's getting into the game as well. Now, I just read a report in Texas that Walmart has now opened their first convenience store gas bar in Texas. Competition. That's why. And the thing is this, you can't compete with the big guys like that. Where you have to compete is how you treat people. How you treat people so that they want to come back and do business with you no matter what, see? And the upside of it is this. The good news is that 86% of consumers say that if the customer service is better, I'm willing to spend a little more money. Nothing wrong with that. they like you, they will come back and they'll spend a little more money. Simple as that. I feel the same way. Air Canada Jazz, I take these little babies when I have to do regional flights, like from Vancouver to Prince George, or out to Gander. Don't go to Gander in the wintertime. Bad idea. Anyways, that's a whole nother thought. But this little jet gets me a lot of places where I can't get with 737. It's a little tighter, but still comfortable, right? Still comfortable. And for me, 5'11", 180 on a good day, I'm fine. Plenty of room. I'm happy. The service is good. They treat me nice. But if it was Shaquille O'Neal, 7'2", 325 pounds, he's going to have a slightly different take on the whole thing, would you think? And then, of course, we have one of our national heroes, Howie Mandel, Mr. Paranoia, too close, don't anybody touch me, that kind of stuff. So the point I'm trying to make here is that depending on who you are, you're going to have a different set of values. You're going to rate things differently. Now, I don't mean to pick on airlines, but they're pretty easy targets. They have what's known as inside-out thinking, as opposed to outside-in thinking. Inside-out thinking is like, well, if we give you a bag of pretzels on board and we offer you a beverage, you're gonna have customer loyalty. You'll be loyal to us. It's not true at all. That's not how it works. What we want is, we want our bags to fly free, right? This idea of having to pay extra to get your bag there when you get there, and now tagging on prices for overhead bags, right? So now they've got this new idea of this bare bones thing where you just get a seat and nothing, no water, no carry-on, no nothing, right? So really, the thing is this: airlines have a tendency to have a one-dimensional view, and it's theirs from the inside out. What's happening is they fail to realize the number of sacrifices we make just to get to the gate. All the things that we have to go through just to get to the gate. To get that, that big Pan-American smile. How are you this morning? Okay. So this idea of having to pay extra for our bags it's just all wrong. Now, that's not the only industry that is doing things like this, but here's what happens is they're not listening from the customer's point of view. They're not listening from your point of view. 80+%, Bain & Company, a large research company down in the States, did a survey, and they talked to some major industries. And when they talked to them, they said, we think we're really good, or we're great at customer experience. 80% of the people that they talked to said that they felt that their customer experience was good or great. And then they went and talked to customers that did business with them, and they could only get 8% to agree. There's a disconnect there somewhere. All right? So, a remarkable experience will equate to value. And good value permeates us, and eventually will lead to customer loyalty. So, and thank you, Rita, for going through a lot of the things, because I'm going to underscore a lot of the things that you said, which will support what you were saying here. According to a Market Force survey done in, last year down in the States, I'm going to give you the top 10 reasons that people see value and how they kind of rate them in a scale, okay? So the first one is convenient location, right? Both on the same page here. Location, location, location. Price of gas. Price of gas is huge. People, they set their clock by the price of gas wherever it happens to be. Now, there's one way that you can get into that gaming store is to make sure that you have an app for your store and your gas card. 59% or 55% said it's getting in and getting out. If I have to struggle to get in and out of your parking lot, or there's no room to park, or it's jammed up out into the street, I'm going to keep on going. I'm going to keep right on going. Friendly service is right up there. 50% of the people that were surveyed said friendly service is at the top of the list. I want somebody that's friendly, remembers what I buy, and is always got up there. I want the guy to say, look, I put your paper away for you because they were going fast and I knew you'd be in at 10 o'clock. Fast service is so important. And more and more I see there's drive-through windows where you can actually, pull up, get your order and go. Because, if you've got kids to pick up, you don't want to be wasting time having to park your car, go inside, stay in line, on and on and on. And again, as we pointed out, cleanliness is huge. Cleanliness is huge. And I know in Canadian winters, it's difficult to keep a floor in a convenience store clean, sparkling. But we want to, we want to be able to see our face in the floor if we could. And so it's doable, but it's, it's hard to keep up. But people take notice of those things. Same as your washrooms. Same as your washrooms. Here's the thing. If they can't get that right, if they can't get washrooms right, what's the kitchen and food stuff look like? Oh, I'm skeptical of that kind of stuff, right? High quality beverage station. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. No more just one pot of coffee. We want cappuccino, we want espresso, we want every juice imaginable. That's what I'm talking about. And again, low prices. You have to be competitive. Now, I did say to you earlier that in many ways, you probably can't be as competitive as some of the bigger guys, especially if you're an independent. But you make up for it with the way you treat your people. That's what it comes down to. People want to go somewhere where they can get gas, they can get a wash, they can get cash, they can get their tickets, they can get it all in one stop. That's how important your industry is. And here's a little bonus one. High quality coffee and food selection is huge. Huge today. I looked at some regional chains down in the States, Wawa, and a couple of different ones, and the food selection, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. To me, when I was, younger guy going into convenience stores, it was the sandwich wrapped up and you didn't know whether it was made today or yesterday or whatever. Now, you're truly competitors in the food industry. So, loyalty. What do we think loyalty is? Anybody want to venture a guess? All right, well, let me just tell you. Loyalty is a love connection. It's when people love your store. They love what your company or your business does. See, what happens is when you build this love connection, this loyalty connection, you're actually getting brand advocates, right? Preachers and evangelists that go out and talk about your story, about your store and your product and your service and how you treat it, how they're treated to their friends and their colleagues, their neighbors, and their family. This is what's called associative value. I came across this and I was absolutely amazed. Wawa is a regional chain of convenience stores down in the States. This person likes that store so well that they have the logo tattooed on their arm. Right? That's associative value. I mean, that's really loving the place. And when people start to talk about my convenience store like they do my doctor or my hairdresser, right? Now you've got loyalty happening. My convenience store. Now there's 5 myths that I came across over the years in loyalty. And a lot of companies think that, because they have satisfied customers, they have loyal customers, right? Because they're satisfied, they're loyal. Myth number 1. Number 2 is that loyalty begins at the point of transactions. Not true. Loyalty is only a marketing function? Not true. And loyalty programs can offset product or service issues? No, they cannot. They cannot. And finally, if you have a database, you have a loyalty program? No, you don't. See, there's a big difference between satisfaction and loyalty. Satisfaction is functional in nature. In other words, if somebody says they're satisfied, that means, well, yeah, they had bread and they had milk. That's what they say they do. And, so, yeah, functionally, I'm satisfied. They had what they said they did. But loyalty is emotional state, right? When a customer is satisfied, you've met a predictable level of expectation with them. Loyalty comes through this emotional connection. And when that happens, It's when you get those people that say, oh, I didn't think you'd do that for me. Oh, isn't that nice? That's loyalty. A love connection. And there's actually 5 levels of leverage in the our passage to loyalty. All right. So how do we connect these things? Well, if we take a look, the first phase here is your basic services, and you've got to get that right. What you do, right? The second phase is your operations, the structure and the systems that organize the work, right? Those are the things. And number 3 is being spot on. In other words, doing exactly what you said you were going to do, being spot on. Now, in truth, you better get those first 3 right, because that's only table stakes. Everybody can do that, right? It's when we get to phase 4, see me, feel me, know me, touch me, and I don't mean literally, but you know, right? You've got a caring, empathic employees and vendors that take care of your clients, your customers, right? Sort of thing. And phase 5 is that emotional connection. How do you make me feel about your company? That's what it's all about. So 1, 2, 3, you better be getting that right. That's table stakes. It's 4 and 5. You know, where you feel unique when I come into the store. You address me by name. You ask how the grandchildren are. And I have a local store in Avondale. I don't know if it's Avondale here today at all. Anyways, I have an Avondale store in my neighborhood. And when I go in, the girl behind the counter, she knows who I am now. And she asks, you know, how are you doing? How are the grandkids? That's what I want to know. Our friend Richard Branson, he says the key is to set realistic customer expectations and then not just meet them, but exceed them, preferably in unexpected and helpful ways. See, when you surprise someone with something like that, it has even more impact. So that's what he's saying. Okay? Truth is the moments of truth. That's what we're looking for. Those moments. You need to be looking for opportunities to surprise and impress your customers. Moments of truth. Now, loyalty programs are another one thing here, and the loyalty landscape has changed considerably. Real loyalty exists when a customer makes repeat purchases without being bribed. Now, if you take a look at this here, this was a Denny's. I don't know where, and I'm not pointing fingers, but it says, check in at Yelp and give us 5 stars, and we'll give you a free breakfast. That's not really loyalty, is it? That's kind of bribing people. Okay? So loyalty cards, they work best when you're using them with people that already frequent your store. A lot of times, you know, we'll have a loyalty card, and what happens is, here's a psychological thing that happens with people. They get into the game and they're clicking, they're getting things going, and so on and so forth. And then they get down to the last one, and they're going to win the prize. They're going to get the free coffee or the donut, right? Now they get clicked the last one, they get the free prize. Guess what they got to do now? They got to start all over again. I'm back to square one. Now we're depressed. I'm suggesting you can have more than one level of loyalty cards. And when they finish with the bronze card, you give them the silver card, and the prize is bigger at the end. When they fill the silver card, you take them the gold card. It keeps them in the game. It keeps them wanting to stay involved with the whole thing. All right? All right, so I know you guys are successful. I know you are. And I know you know what worked before the big downturn came along. But we all have to work every day to be better tomorrow and the next week and the next week and the next week. Would you agree with me on that? Yeah. So I got to ask you, what did you do yesterday to make things better for today and next week? How many of you are out there, you know that there's something that you can do different in your business, right? You know you should do it. It would be the right thing to do. You're perfectly capable of doing it. It would make things better, but you're not doing it. Anybody out there? Yeah. I guess I'm not alone in the room. I see one other hand over there going on. Things that we could do. And I know, here's the deal, okay. Are you kidding me? Did you see my schedule? I was so jammed up yesterday, I couldn't believe it. My night manager came in, wanted to know why I couldn't hire that second person. My accountant's on the phone said, we're in trouble, we gotta have lunch. My wife wants to know, she calls and leaves a message along with $68 in my inbox. She wants to know, honey, can you pick up the kids and get them to soccer? By the way, it's our turn to bring snacks. My therapist calls and says, yeah, can we move your appointment from 5 o'clock to 4 o'clock today? That's just the world we live in. That's just the way it is. We're all subject to this kind of stuff. But what you have to do is every day look at your business with a fresh set of eyes. Like a new beginning, right? Now, smart companies have great ideas, and it sets them apart from other companies. And you know what it is? The difference? Smart companies take action and they ask for accountability. Now, middle-of-the-road companies, they also have great ideas, but they have a tendency to lack the action and accountability. Biggest challenge for you is to find out what customers are thinking about your store, thinking about you, what are they saying to their friends and family, what do they say online? How do you do that? Well, you know, there's in a lot of industries, restaurant industry and so forth, they have those, satisfaction cards that you fill out, and some industries do the Net Promoter Score and so on and so forth. But in your business, in the convenience industry, you're probably better off with the use of a mystery shopper to give you some immediate feedback, right? And they'll come in and they'll shop and they'll see what the attitude of the person behind the counter was, how clean the store was, all those kinds of things, and then they will give you a report at the end, and you will then know those areas that you need to work on. The who, what, where, when, and why, and how, right? Who does what, why do they do it, where do they do it, how, and then you can close the loop, so to speak, and take action, fix it, and delight from your customers. So, building a customer loyalty culture. A culture. Customer loyalty is a culture within your organization. And where do you start? Well, you start with your team. The folks that are on the front line. If you ask them for some input on how to improve on things, and you make it part of your program that you want to have, you won't have to sell them on it because they'll buy in. They were part of the decision. They were part of that whole thing. You have two sets of customers. You have two sets of customers. You have external customers and you have internal customers. Your internal customers are the people that are on your front lines. You want to take really good care of your internal customers. Model how you want them to treat your customers. See, just to say, well, here's our mission statement, this is what we're all about, and then do the opposite, but expect them to follow that, not going to work. Treat them like you want them to treat your customers. Okay? Typically, you should have a core set of values that you can adhere to. Creating customer-friendly mentality, an honest and ethical way of doing business. Now, these are just suggestions, okay? Delivering a compelling value, treating people with respect, and rewarding hard work and results. Choosing to err on the side of the customer. Just suggestions. Okay? So, here's how companies like Starbucks, Build-A-Bear, Apple, Zappos, this is how they do it. They start with the onboarding process, getting the right fit. You want to hire the best person for the job, right? Am I right? That's not right. You want to hire the best person for your culture, for your business. See, you can always teach skill levels, right? I didn't mean to trick it like that. The person who has the best attitude can be taught. I had to rehire a sales team at a newspaper that I was running one year, many decades ago. I had to replace all the sales team. I brought in people that knew nothing about sales or newspapers. And I trained them the way I wanted them to work. How to approach customers, how to get more business, how to be enthusiastic, because they had the right spirit. And they all had something to prove to the world. In 5 years, we increased revenues by 290%. And why? Because they didn't know any better. They just went out and did it. Right attitude. We went from a struggling little paper doing less than $400,000 a year. In 10 years, we were doing $990,000 a year. Right attitude, okay? Bad hires cost industry $100 million a year, right? $100 million a year. So, here's some of your strategies for getting the right fit, okay? Getting the right people on board. You can get assessment tools, and now you don't have to make this stuff up. If you don't have an HR department attached to your company or something like that, you can always go to Chapters and get one of these tools, right? Having more than one person do the interview is always a great idea. You got to touch on what produces customers' delight. Sometimes having a frontline person sit in can give you a better take on whether this person's going to work or not. The big thing is to have realistic job previews, okay? Realistic, right? So here's the job and here's the descriptions. You're a new employee. You are likely to be permanently part-time. Right? So it's a strong possibility. Pay raises will be negligible. You'll be on your own frequently. You may be called in on short notice. You need to be flexible. You will likely be working holidays, and customers will not always be pleasant. Now, the reason we're going to put this up here is that's being brutally frank with somebody that's going to be a new hire, because you want them to thoroughly understand this is what we're talking about here, and this is where you want to come in. Okay? All right. So, if Zappos says that they're in the service that just happen to sell shoes, well, you are also in the service industry. You just happen to sell milk, eggs, bread, and newspapers. You are also in the service industry that just happens to wash cars and trucks. You're also a service company that just happens to sell gas. But you're the service company first. Service first, okay? Hire people who will service passionately, aggressively friendly people that are motivated to do a good job, and they are out there. It doesn't have to be just someone with a pulse. Okay? So, training skills, you train for problem solving and compassion and empathy. Empathy is a big one with people, right? Big one. This is Wegmans. Anybody heard of Wegmans? Anybody ever been to a Wegmans store? See, I live right on the border, so there's about 6 of them in Buffalo, New York. So I'll go over because Wegmans is just such a great experience, and if you ever have an opportunity to go into a Wegmans store, do it. Just go and see how they do it. This is Danny and Colleen Wegman. They're 4th generation, family-owned business. They're also on Fortune's 100 top places to work, the way they treat their employees. 100 years they've been in business now as a family-owned business. Unbelievable store and the way they treat people, take care of people. And so if they ask Danny, what is the secret? The secret is happy people, period. Happy customers and happy employees. Okay? Here's some of the values that your people will want. They like this stuff. They want a boss who's fair. They want to be respected. They want to have an opportunity to learn and develop into your industry. They want to have the ability to win or succeed for their customers, right? Having sufficient latitude to make things right. And if I come in and there's a problem and they go, well, I'll have to call the manager. Can you come back later and I'll see what he says? Give them some latitude, even if it's like, okay, you got up to $20 to make this right on the spot, okay? Make the decision within reason, okay? Big, reasonable compensation is the next one. But they want to be part of the solution. So, when employees are happy, you will have a customer loyalty spirit within your organization. And so, I told you I would tell you about 3 things. What is customer experience, human experience? Why is it so important? And how do you execute it so that you get customer loyalty? Okay. And on that note, I hope I've underscored what you said, because if you hear it from 2 of us this morning here, you got to know that we're on the right page together. And I hope you have a terrific show. It's been such a pleasure to be here, to be a part of it. Thank you very much.